Today our topic is changes in demand. Before discussing the changes in demand, first of all, we discuss about the demand. What is demand? In ordinary language, the word demand means desire, but in economics, demand means desire backed by the enough money to pay for the good. Only desire cannot be called demand. Our desire is need two things to make a demand. First one is purchasing power and second one is willingness to spend the money. It's mean demand is equal to desire plus purchasing power means money and willingness to spend the money, then it becomes demand. Now we move toward the changes in demand. There are two types of changes in demand. Number one, that is extension and contraction in demand. Extension and contraction in demand are due to the changes in price of the commodity only. This means extension and contraction in demand is due to the changes in price only. Other factors remain same. Number two, rise and fall in demand. The other changes of demand is the rise and fall in demand. It is not concerned with the changes in price, but it is concerned with the other factor rather than the price, rather than the changes in price. Rise and fall in demand are not affected by the changes in price of a product. Rather, the demand is affected by the someone factor other than the price. Here we are discussing about the changes in demand in detail, whether it is extension and contraction in demand or rise or fall in demand, one by one in detail. Now, first of all, the changes which are concerned with the extension in demand. When the price of a commodity or service decreases, the demand for that commodity or it may be service increases, is known as the extension of demand. It means that the extension in demand is the increase in demand due to the opposite relation of price in case of decrease in price. Price and demand both move in opposite direction. And when this happens, that demand increases, and the main cause and main and only cause of increasing the demand is the decrease in price of a product, that is called extension in demand. Extension means extending of demand. It is commonly observed in our day to day life that when the price of any commodity decrease, it leads toward the increase in demand. If a seller or producer want to increase the demand of their product or service, then they decrease the price of their commodity or service. As a result, the demand of that commodity or service tend to be increased. And in such a way, producer or seller can maximize their profit by increasing their increasing the demand of their commodity or service. As we have already studied in law of demand that other thing remain same, it means other factor which are affecting the demand remain constant. Then with the decrease in price of a commodity, a demand will be increased. It means the part of first part of law of demand describe the extension in demand. Simple we can say that with the decrease in the price of any commodity or service leads toward the increase in the demand of that good or service, which is extension in demand. Number B, contraction in demand. Now we study what is contraction in demand as it is denoted by the name. Contraction is derived from the word contract, Contract is a decrease in demand, and here contraction in demand when the price of a commodity or service increases, the demand of that commodity decreases is known as contraction in demand. It's very easy to understand that the decrease in demand only due to decrease in the price of that commodity rather than other factor. Here we assume that other factor remain constant, and with the increase in the price of a commodity, demand for that commodity decreases. That is called contraction in demand. Extension or contraction in demand is due to only changes in price. In this situation, we can say that demand is inversely related with the price of a commodity. Price and demand of a commodity have inverse relation. Now, the extension in demand is shown by the table of a commodity, which is here assumed sugar. Now, in this table, we draw two columns. First column for the price and second column that is for the quantity demand. Here we show the demand of different demands of sugar at a different price level. It is clear from the table that when the price of a commodity is high at 150 rupees per kg, then its quantity demand is 100 kg. But as the price of that particular product decreases to 140, then its demand increases from 100 to 150 kg. And on further reduction in price level from 140 to 130 rupees per kg, the demand increases from 150 kg to 180 kg and from 113 to, and when price fall up to 100 rupees, then demand increases from 250 kg. This extension of demand is also denoted by the graph. Here we take a graph, we draw two axes, x-axis and y-axis. At x-axis we take the quantity demanded of a commodity, that is here for example sugar, and at the y-axis we take the price of commodity, that is here sugar. It is denoted by this graph that when the price of a commodity is 100 rupees, its demand is 150 kg, and when its price decreases from 100 to, and when price fall from 150 to 140, then demand increases from 100 to 150. Demand curve move from A to B point. And when price more decreases from 140 to 130, then demand increases more from 150 to 180 kg, and it is denoted by the point C. When the price more fall from 130 to 120 rupees per kg, then demand more increases from 180 kg to 200 kg, and it is denoted by the point D. And when price more fall from 120 to 100 rupees, the demand more increases from 200 to 250 kg. And it is clear from this table and this graph that there is no specific increase or decrease in demand due to increase or decrease in price. But it is clear that demand and price has negative relation, but no specific increase or decrease. It may be more changes, more increase maybe happen in demand due to less decrease in price. For example, if the price decreases 20%, then demand may be increase 20% or more than 20%, 30%, 40%, and so on. It's mean no specific increase or decrease is exist between changes of demand and its price. Here, when we combine all these points with a line, point A, B, C, D and E, then we get a curve, a line which is called demand line. Demand line here show that demand is increasing. Demand curve is uh, falling from left to right downwards and increasing the demand. We draw here another table to show the contraction in demand. The table show the price in rupees in first column and quantity demanded in second column. Here we also take the example of sugar. When the price of sugar is 150 rupees per kg, its quantity demand is 100 kg. And with the increase in price level from 150 to 160, the quantity demand decreases from 100 kg to 90 kg. Further increase in price from 160 to 170, demand for sugar more far from 90 to 80. And when price more increases from 170 to 180, demand more fall from 80 to 75. And with the decrease from 180 to 200, with the increase in price, the demand for sugar more decreases from 75 to 60 kg. The increase in price lead toward the decrease in demand is called contraction in demand. Here this table show the contraction in demand. The contraction of demand is shown here with the help of graph. Here we make a graph while drawing two axes. Horizontal x is x-axis and vertically draw a line which is y-axis. At x-axis we take the quantity demanded of commodity which is here sugar, and at the y-axis we take the price in rupees of sugar. When the price of sugar is 150 rupees per kg, then the demand is 100, and with the combination of 150 price and 100 demand, a point is made which is the point A. Now with the increase in price from 150 to 160 rupees per kg, the quantity demanded of sugar decreases from 100 to 90, and another point made which is called point B. And with the more increase in prices from 160 to 170 kg, the demand decreases more from 90 to 80 kg. And with the more increase in price of the commodity, which is 170 to 180, the quantity demanded more decreases from 80 to 75 kg. And here the point D is met. With the more increase in prices from 180 to 200, the quantity demanded of commodity decreases from 75 kg to 60 kg. And here the point E is made. Now with the combination of all these and with the combination of all these points we make a line which is called demand curve. Line or curve which is called demand curve, which is consists of A, B, C, D, E point, which goes. The demand curve is moving from downward to upward, and the point A, B, C, D are moving upward. Here the point which is to be noted that the price increases and quantity demanded decreases, but there is no specific increase or decrease in price and demand. Price increases, demand decreases. It may be decrease in quantity demanded may be more or less than the changes in price. Now the changes in demand part 2 is the rise and fall in demand. It's mean the changes in demand is not due to the changes in price. It's mean price remains same and demand changes. The rise and fall in demand is also known as shifting in demand, or it is a change in quantity demanded due to the assumption and other factor, not due to its own price change. Number A, rise in demand. What is rise in demand? Whenever there is an increase in quantity, demand, not because of price but to but due to other factor, is called a rise in demand. In this case, the demand curve will shift rightwards. Other factor which cause to increase the demand, it's mean price. Other factor which cause to increase the demand while price remains same are: number 1, changes in income. With the increase in income, price remains same, the demand will also increase. And in this case, demand curve will be shift rightward. And in case of fashion, if the fashion change and it lead toward the increase in demand, that is called rise in demand. And In this case, also price will be remain the same. Change in test. With the change in test, sometimes demand increases while price remain the same. Changes in weather. For example, with the coming of winter, the price remains same and the demand for warm cloth and soup etc. will be increased. That is called rise in demand and demand curve will be shift rightward. And other factor which is increase in population, very precious goods with the no change in price, their demand will increase and increase. Invention of substitute will also increase the demand while price remain the same. Change in distribution of wealth, changes in the state of trade, future expectation that sometimes we expect that the price of particular commodity will rise in near future, so they increase their purchase with the rise in price. All these are all factors which cause to increase the demand while price remain the same. Number B, fall in demand. What is fall in demand? That is also the part of shift in demand. Fall due to fall in demand, demand curve also shift downward. Whenever there is a decrease in quantity demanded of any commodity, not because of price but due to the other factor is called a fall in demand. A fall in demand is also meant that with no change in the price of a commodity, demand will be decrease and decrease. It means the price is not affecting the demand of a commodity, but the cause of the decrease in demand is the changes in other factors like the changes in income. If the income of a consumer decreases, due to which demand will also decrease while price of that commodity remain the same. Changes in fashion, it means that when a goods become out of fashion, its demand will be fall not due to the changes in price. Change in taste, it means the taste of a consumer change and he do not like more the amount of that any commodity, then the demand of that commodity will be decreased not due to the changes in income. So the changes in weather. If if a good become out of the weather has been passed and price remain the same, its demand will be reduced. And just like it, the decrease in population will cause to decrease the demand rather than changes in price. So the so in so as the changes in distribution of wealth will also affect the demand of consumer. Now we explain the rise and fall in demand with the help of table and graph. Now here we make a table to show the rise in demand. The table which show the rise in demand of a commodity which name is sugar. For example, here we take the example of sugar. In first column we take the price of sugar and in second column we take the quantity demanded of X mean good X, which may be sugar. When the price of sugar is 150 kg per kg, its demand is 100 kg. And now here we look that with the same price 150, the demand increases from 100 kg to 120 kg. With the same price 150 kg per kg, the demand increases from 120 to 140 kg. And with the same price 150, the demand more increases from 140 to 160, and with the same price or no changes in price, the demand more increases from 160 to 170. It shows that the changes in quantity demanded to increase will not be due to the changes in price. This increase is due to the other factor rather than price. Other factor we have already discussed all these factors one by one, which may cause to increase the demand, price remain the same. Sometimes it happen that price have no change and demand increases, and it is the rise in demand. Now this table is explained with the diagram or graph. Here we draw two axes, x-axis and y-axis. X-axis is an horizontal line, whereas y-axis is a vertical line. At x-axis, we take the quantity demanded of a commodity in kilograms, and at the y-axis, we take the price of commodity in rupees. Here, the commodity we assume is sugar. When the price of sugar is 150, its demand is at 150 rupees. The demand is 100 kg, which is denoted by point A. At the same price level, the demand increases from 100 to 120 kg, and it is denoted by the point B. And with the same price level, the demand further increases from 120 to 140, and it is denoted by the point C. And when price remains same and the demand more increases from 140 to 160, then it is denoted by point D. And with the more increase in demand while price remain the same, and it is denoted by point E. Here a point should be keep in mind that there is no specific increase or there is no specific increase in the quantity demanded. It increases due to the factors that we have already discussed. Now we move toward the second parts of the shift in demand, which is fall in demand. Here we make a table which denote the fall in demand. The tables show the quantity of different quantities of sugar at the same price level. First column shows the price of good X means sugar, and second quantity demanded of X means sugar. When the price of sugar is 150 rupees per kg, its quantity demanded is 100 kg. With the same price level, the quantity demanded decreases from 100 to 90 kg. With the same price level, demand more decreases from 90 to 80 kg. And at the same price level, demand further decreases from 80 to 70 kg. With the same price level, the demand further decreases from 70 to 65 kg. Due to this decrease, demand curve will also shift downwards. And it is due to the factor other than price. Now this table is also explained with the help of diagram or graph. Here you saw a graph which is consist of two axes, x-axis and y-axis. X-axis which is horizontal axis and y-axis is vertical axis. At x-axis we take the quantity of quantity demanded of good X, which is here sugar. And at the y-axis we take the price of commodity, which is sugar. We take the price in rupees and quantity in kilogram. Here, when the price of sugar is 150 rupees per kg, then the quantity demanded is 100 kg. With the same price level, demand decreases from 100 to 90 and demand curve shift from A to B. And with the more decrease in price from 90 to 80, demand curve more then shift from B to C. And further decrease from 80 to 70 kg, the demand curve shift from C to D. And with the more decrease in quantity demanded due to further due to same price, its shift from D to E. It's due to the changes in the factor affecting the demand rather than price.